We've gotten the truck all packed up, the kids all loaded up, and we're off on today's adventure, which is a trip into Death Valley National Park.
We are just south of Beatty, Nevada at a nice boondocking spot, and ironically enough, we're right around the corner from the ghost town of Rhyolite, which we actually visited last year. So we're actually going to drive right past it today.
We didn't get a chance to go to Death Valley last time, so we're super excited. And we have actually 2 big days planned in the park that we'll show you in this video. Let's go.
So we made it to the visitor center. This is where the famous sign is with the temperature, where they set record temperatures here. Thankfully today it's only 74 degrees.
Right, but it gets much, much hotter. Keep in mind we're here in March, and if you're here in the summer, you want to be done with your hiking early in the morning if you can. So we're happy for this temperature today. Come over here, there's one more thing we want to show you. This sign is really neat because it shows you the different elevations here in the park. And if you look up in the surrounding mountain ranges, you'll see Telescope Peak, which is the highest point at 11,049 feet. But we are way, 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 way down here. We are at Furnace Creek at 190 feet below sea level, and this is not the furthest down that we're going to be going today. We're going to be going to Badwater Basin, and that is the lowest point in North America. So stay tuned for that. It's just amazing to see the different places in the park on one scale like this.
Right around the corner from the visitor center is the Furnace Creek gas station. I will never complain about diesel prices ever again. We are at Badwater Basin, and it's probably one of the most iconic places in the whole park because it's the lowest point below sea level in North America at 282 feet. There's actually a sign on the cliff up above that shows the sea level line.
Also, we're in Badwater Basin, but the salt flats are out behind us here, so you can see that from the parking lot, or you can take a half-mile hike out and a half-mile hike back, so you can actually get out on them. And the salt flats here cover 200 square miles, approximately.
It is so very bright out here, and it's interesting on the way in because everything is so brown, but the salt flats out here along this walking trail are just so very white. I really should have brought sunglasses.
Water break.
We made it about halfway.
Halfway, one direction.
Yeah. We're having a hard time keeping the kids going. They're complaining it's hot.
It is hot though. Actually, at the beginning it was worse because it was like there was no breeze. And I don't understand where it went because it has been breezy all day. And thankfully it has picked back up again because that helps tremendously. And now we're a little further out. Some of the salt flat is a little more brown on the trail compared to at the beginning it was stark white. It was like a spotlight up in your eyes. And I was honestly walking with my eyes closed part of the time.
This is a lot easier on the eyes now.
Yeah, this is so nice though. Now that there's a breeze, very cool place. We've made it about as far out here as we're gonna come, and the geometric shapes out here on the salt flat are really amazing. Just walking over them, some of them have higher rims than others, and some are more defined than others, but everywhere you find these rocks strewn about that show exactly what this is made out of. It's so intricate. And so it's composed of sodium chloride, which is table salt, along with calcite, gypsum, and borax. So that is pretty neat. Take a close look if you're ever out here, not just the big picture, but get up close. It's pretty fascinating.
Another really interesting thing to note is behind me is Telescope Peak, and it is at 11,049 feet above sea level. And since we're standing at negative 282 feet, this is actually the largest vertical relief you can find in the lower 48.
So the consensus is, even though it was already kind of hot at this time of year, that it was worth it. So if you come out here, definitely take the walk to get further out onto the salt flats. You won't be disappointed, and definitely get out there earlier if you can. And I would not recommend going out there in the summer. Can you imagine?
No way.
Hottest temperature on record here, we discovered, was 134 degrees. So that is really hot, and no wonder it is the hottest place in the world.
It is only 82 degrees today, and it really feels a lot hotter than that. And
It does.
I wonder if that has to do with just all the white in the salt flats reflecting more sunlight back at you or something, but it definitely feels hotter than 82.
Now we're gonna stop just for a moment at the Devil's Golf Course and check that out.
This is definitely worth a stop. The surrounding area is just quite a bit different from Badwater Basin. All the salt crystals are up higher, and it's really, really hard. It's actually really sharp too. It kind of reminds me of broken glass. So, aptly named.
So we thought this would be just a quick stop, you know, pop out of the car, look at the sign, check it out and go. But it's a really fun place to explore. Just like Kevin said, be careful because it is sharp. Don't fall. Careful where you put your hands. My dad is the golfer in the family, so I will let him tee off here. At other times of the year, if you're out here and you listen, you can hear these actually popping as they expand and contract. That would be really neat to hear. So keep an ear out for that if you visit.
So we just finished talking about how you can hear the popping sounds sometimes, and we thought that was at other times of year when it's maybe hotter, but just seconds after we said that, we started hearing little pops and little cracks in the salt. It's really neat.
I thought I heard it just now, but it was one of the kids walking. So like, there it is. We'll try to capture it for you, but I think you just got to come out here and listen for yourselves.
So Artist's Drive has been really neat, and halfway through it here is Artist's Palette.
Yeah, the whole thing has been really scenic, but I think this takes the cake as the most scenic part. And Artist's Palette is like a rainbow of colors because these volcanic deposits have all sorts of elements in them, most notably iron oxides and chlorite. The sign over there said no copper, which was a little interesting to us. But so you see all these different colors on the hillside, and we're gonna go down and explore a little bit. Depending on the time of day that you're here and the cloud cover and the rainfall, they say it can look very different depending on when you come. But this already is beautiful. That's beautiful. I can't imagine the colors getting any more vibrant than this. Maybe they do sometimes. Death Valley has really surprised me. I think what we both expected was Badwater Basin, and not even as cool as that was. We thought some flat, low-lying, desolate area, but it's been way more fascinating than that. And add to the salt flats and the high temperatures and the lowest point in North America, all of these colors. They even have wildflower blooms here. They have so many things. It's amazing. Come here and prepare to be surprised. You can even find a waterfall if you want. So we originally told you guys we're going to spend 2 days in the park, and we were going to say we're done today and do Zabriskie Point and the rest of it starting tomorrow. Except we stopped here at Golden Canyon Trail, and the kids insisted we do it today. They said, we still have energy, we still have energy. And actually Kevin and I are the ones who don't have too much energy left. So Clara was dragging me down the trail saying, hurry up, hurry up. All right, one more hike for the day.
This is seriously one of those rare times where the kids want to keep going. I would say most of our days when we're out exploring the entire day, the kids are kind of done by the end of it. So this is a bit of a surprise. So we're going to roll with it. So I don't think we're heading down the main trail now. The kids found some kind of little canyon on a side chute here. So now we're going up this little tiny canyon way. It's a dead end.
Enterprising climbers could probably get up there. That's not us.
Climbers?
At least not today with the kids. I wonder if water ever flows down here. I don't know, but it was a neat little detour, and now we're gonna head back down.
So as you may notice, Christine is now wearing Clara's hat because she forgot hers today.
I did. We could have turned around, but we didn't want to. So here I am styling. But we've made it to Zabriskie Point this morning, and that is where we are headed. It's a 1/4 mile up to the overlook where you can see the Badlands below. But I wanted to point out, if you wanted to, you could take the trail right over here and do an entire loop. And yesterday evening we were at Golden Canyon Trailhead, and we maybe made it to, about right here. You could have kept going, or you could have completed a loop. Even come all the way back here if you started. So that's pretty neat. We are just gonna check out the Badlands view from here at the top. Let's go.
This is the Zabriskie Point overlook. It is at 705 feet above sea level, which puts you more than 900 feet above the valley below. It's a pretty spectacular view.
It's neat to see it from this perspective and to say, hey, we were down there yesterday, especially because being down in Golden Canyon, you're in between the Badlands here, and it's a totally different perspective than being up high and seeing all this from above. You can see tiny little people walking around down there. It's pretty neat. And then the valley way below. This is a very popular place to come, especially at sunrise and sunset. So if you can make it then, I hear that the colors and the sun coming up or setting here makes it even more spectacular.
We are going to head on to 20 Mule Team Canyon.
20 Mule Team Canyon is a short one-way unpaved road that winds between and around the Badlands and is worth the detour from the main road. Its name commemorates the famous 20 mule teams that hauled wagons of borax from the Harmony Borax Works to the railhead near Mojave, though they don't appear to have actually used this particular road. Today you can also walk a short trail at the Harmony Borax Works near Furnace Creek to see a mining site, one of the 20 Mule Team wagons, and learn more. Next, we drove up to Dantes View.
We have made it up to Dantes View at 5,575 feet. You can see all of Death Valley from here. It's really spectacular, all the way down to Badwater Basin at negative 282 feet below sea level. It is quite the view.
Yeah, the vertical relief between the valley and here, and then again looking up to Telescope Peak above us across the valley here at 11,049 feet. I mean, it's pretty drastic, and it's pretty amazing to see from this perspective. You can take a look down there and you can see Badwater Basin and where we walked out onto the salt flat. The white line where people walk is just so defined from up here. And then we could see the Devil's Golf Course and Artist's Palette and the drive we did and Furnace Creek. You could see it all from up here. So we would really recommend you come up here either before you do everything else or afterwards, and then you can look and say, I did that and that and that. It's a good way to kind of look at everything in aggregate. It's another place that's good at sunset or sunrise, but we're here fairly early in the afternoon And it's amazing now too.
So actually some of the early Star Wars movies were filmed here in various places. And interestingly enough, the valley down here below from the upper view here is Mos Eisley.
Yeah, it's interesting to picture what you see in the movie here and in other places like Artist's Palette and Golden Canyon and the Sand Dunes are all locations where parts of those early movies were filmed. So if you're a Star Wars fan, come to the park and check out those things as well, because that was pretty interesting for us.
There is so much more to see and do here. We recommend you spend at least a couple of days, if not more, if you can, because after all, this is the largest national park in the lower 48 states. We're going to call it from here. I hope you enjoyed our time in Death Valley National Park, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye. This is a... Whoa!
And check it out. Do you know why it's called Devil's Golf Course?
I think there was a park ranger that called it that at some point.
Yeah. On its way. Woo! I spilled that on myself.